Welcome to the BioBalance Healthcast, episode 697. Emsculpt Neo Body Sculpting and Rehab Post-Op.
BioBalance Healthcast features conversations about anti-aging medicine. Your host is Dr. Kathy Maupin, Medical Director of BioBalance Health and a leading expert in treating symptoms of aging. Dr. Maupin is the author of The Secret Female Hormone, the seminal work about testosterone replacement therapy for women, and Got Testosterone, the award-winning book for men that helps men choose the most effective and safe form of testosterone replacement. These books are available on Amazon or from Dr. Maupin's office at BioBalance Health in St. Louis and in Kansas City. Dr. Maupin's office is currently accepting new patients.
Welcome to the BioBalance Healthcast. I'm Dr. Kathy Maupin, and today I'm going to talk about a revolutionary machine that is in our BioBalance Skin office, and it's in offices across the country. It is made by, if you want to look it up while we're talking, it's made by BTL Industries, and it is miraculous. It helps my patients with their weight loss. It helps my patients who are lifting weights and say they're lifting weights and everything looks great, but they have skinny calves. It helps build calves. Say somebody is losing weight, and as they lose weight, they lose muscle, because if you're losing weight after you're 40, you don't have as much testosterone, and the testosterone isn't maintaining your muscles. So this machine helps you build muscle and gets rid of the fat that's under the skin, and it can even get rid of visceral fat, which is the visceral fat that's inside your abdomen that you can't pinch, that kind of fat. And it also tightens the skin over it. So muscles increase by 30%, fat decreases by 25%, and skin tightness is a bonus on top of it. So as you know, everybody is trying to lose weight on these new medications, or they have just decided they're going to lose weight and look better because everybody else is keeping up with everybody. So at BioBalance Skin, I'm the medical director. And in general, I have a very narrow quality checklist for buying any kind of expensive aesthetic equipment. It's not BLT, it's BTL. BTL has 3 machines, and I have bought all 3 of them. One of them is the Emsculpt Neo that I'm going to talk about in depth. The other is M-Face, which keeps me lifted, and it has no downtime, it has no pain, it has nothing but half an hour out of your life 4 times, 4 weeks in a row, and it's like you've had a facelift. And no pain. I mean, you don't even have redness. You can go back to work. So that's amazing. And also the third is Emsculpt, which helps my patients with pelvic floor problems, with urinary loss, and just keeping their pelvic floor strong. We don't want to have any kind of, we call it prolapse of the uterus or the vagina or anything as we get older. So this is going to help keep everything where it should be. But Emsculpt is what I'm going to talk about today. And the reason these 3 are linked by this one company is they use similar scientific methods or engineering methods. They use, Emsculpt Neo uses a RF, everybody's heard of RF, radio frequency, on the fat, but they have tweaked it a little bit so that you really lose fat with each treatment. And you can get on our InBody machine, which is a body composition machine, and see the difference as you go through these four weekly treatments. The RF is also meant to tighten the skin over that area that you are building muscle and losing fat. And it actually builds muscle. You can actually build 30% more muscle in the area that you're treating. Most people treat their abs because women want to have a waistline, men want to get rid of their beer gut, and it works with magnetism. It is a magnetic type machine that focuses right on your muscles and makes your muscles contract more than you could ever do at a gym. And it is more concentrated in this one area. So this is something that doesn't hurt. My criterion for a machine is it doesn't hurt, it always works, as long as we follow the parameters of how to choose our patients, because there's some patients who shouldn't do this until they get their BMI less than 30. So, but they should do it afterwards. So we try to get machines that are very effective. So that's my biggest quality in a machine is it has to be effective. It has to give my patients what they ask for. So there's many groups, different groups of people who want to use the EM-Sculpt, One is people who are in our weight loss program, who are losing their weight, but they're losing fat, but their muscles are decreasing and their skin is kind of sagging. And so that patient, when they get under a BMI of 30, should do this to keep all of their skin tight. As you get older, your skin gets loose. It just does, but this helps revive it. And for another type of person, somebody who works out all the time, and they just have one area they can't make more muscle or lose the fat in, this is the perfect machine for sculpting. And that's how I define sculpting. So it is not something that you should do to just lose fat. You will lose fat, but it is not a method of weight loss. You should be following a weight loss protocol while you do this. So my patients come in and they have to go through an interview with one of my nurses or estheticians, and we make sure that the interview's free. We make sure that they are actually a candidate for this type of treatment. We combine Emsculpt Neo with our semaglutide or tirzepatide injections. Testosterone pellets always help make even more muscle than is promised by the Emsculpt company. We ask our patients to have regular exercise and follow a high-protein, low-carb diet. We initially didn't do that because then we found that our patients were complaining that they weren't losing fat. And then we started talking to them, and they would be like, "Oh, I've gotten thinner. My waistband's looser." Immediately, they'd go out and have like cake and champagne with somebody. That's not how you do this. If you want to have a lasting sculpted body, you have to actually do the diet, do the exercise, have a high protein intake, so that you can make muscle. And you have to follow an actual diet. I mean, I find that people are just reticent to do that. They want a fast, easy way. Well, this is easy, but you just have to have some self-control. So who should do the Emsculpt? If you need to work your abdomen, but you have low back problems, then, you need to get your core tighter, but you can't do sit-ups and you can't do the exercises that make your low back stronger, then you need to make your abs stronger, because that is what's going to hold your core together. So somebody who has low back problems would be a perfect candidate. Just people who want to have more muscles in a certain area is good. Anyone who is on a weight loss program and is losing a lot of weight or fat, but is also losing muscle, they're a candidate. If you're anticipating joint surgery, your best bet for going through joint surgery successfully and being happy with your joint surgery is to use this machine beforehand, either above or below, depending on the joint. If you were doing a knee surgery, you'd do it on your quads. So that is going to give you the most muscle around that joint to hold it steady, to hold it intact because they just separate muscles and peel everything back so that they can do the replacement, and then they put it back, and then it has been stretched, it's been traumatized. If you have really good muscle, you're going to recover a lot better, and you'll have an outcome that's better as well. Patients who are healing from joint surgery after your PT is over, it's been approved by the FDA for rehab. So say you have 10 treatments of PT paid for by your insurance, but you still are wobbling around on your knees. Say you had a knee replacement. Then you could use this machine. I would do both legs equally, honestly. I wouldn't just do the one that is having surgery just so that you're symmetric. But you can actually use the machine to build muscle after the surgery, because we all go under anesthesia, you lose many pounds of muscle just being under anesthesia. So this is something that can really help you after the PT is over. If you can't lift weights because you've had an injury, but you can lie there and let the machine go, basically it just goes, and then down, and if I turned it all the way up on certain people, it would hurt, but we don't. We just ask you, and we just keep turning it up until you say stop, or turn it back. This is also good for people who have belly fat, visceral fat. They can't get rid of the visceral fat because for some reason they can't. Visceral fat is usually lost by aerobic exercise. Running, biking, fast walking, if you can't do that, and eating a low-carb diet, those two things together. If you can't do the exercise portion, then this machine can do that for you to help you lose the visceral fat. And it has been proven in FDA trials that it will decrease visceral fat, and visceral fat causes heart disease. So you don't want to have a lot of visceral fat. It causes inflammation, heart disease, everything that goes along with inflammation, including Alzheimer's. Some people may not be able to enjoy this, and I'd rather tell you now than have you go in and waste your time coming in and having a consult with us or any of the other offices or spas that have this. If your BMI is greater than 30, I need you to be on a weight loss program to get less than 30 before this is going to be advantageous for you. You're not going to be happy if I could let everybody over a BMI of 30 do this. I'd get paid. They wouldn't be happy that I don't let them do that because I don't want failure. I want this to be something that you're going to be successful with, and it's supposed to help you. So, number 2, if you have a pacemaker, if you have an implant that is for pain, if you have any implantable device that has metal in it, which they all do, then you cannot do this because it works with magnetism and it will heat up anything metal. So, not anything, but the type of metal that those things are made out of, and it can interact with with some of the pumps or the pain pump, the pain stimulator. Excuse me. If you have a knee and you had it in the last 10 years, it's possible that your knee is mostly titanium, and you can try doing this and see if it causes you to have a hot knee or if it causes you to have any pain. Titanium is not magnetic. So titanium, like I have a titanium shoulder, yet I can use it for the back part of my arm or the front part of my arm. I still lift weights, but it does a better job of tightening the skin and getting rid of the fat. So that's okay. Titanium's fine, but some of the other metals that are used in knee replacement or hip replacement, you have to ask about. If you have pins anywhere, metal pins, or if you have rods in your back, then you're not a candidate for this. It's not recommended. If you have an unrepaired joint and you may have surgery or you're just trying to make it stronger, make the muscles stronger, because when they replace for instance, when they replace your shoulder, they have to move these muscles that are outside the joint. They move the muscles, and your muscles have to be strong after they put the implant in to hold the implant in place and not damage it if you lift something. And you go, oh, I shouldn't lift, and you just lifted 50 pounds. I mean, you have to have strong muscles to hold that implant in place so that you don't hurt yourself, basically. So this will do that. And this one will probably rule out a whole group of people, but if you can't stop drinking alcohol while you're trying to lose weight, you probably won't be successful. If you can't stop drinking alcohol while you're doing this treatment for 4 weeks, I mean, minimal alcohol, which is 4 ounces of wine every night, no more than that. If you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't do this, because alcohol shuts down the system that allows you to lose weight. It prioritizes the toxin of alcohol, and your body spends all of its time trying to get rid of the toxin instead of getting rid of the fat. So we mobilize the fat, but it can't go anywhere. So it goes back to where it started. So that's another thing. And if you're not going to be on a low-carb, high-protein diet, you can't make muscle. You have to have the building blocks for muscle. Carbs do nothing but energy and fat, and they make fat. If you are going to run a marathon, you need a lot of carbs. If you're going to sit at your desk and be a director of something, or you're going to be a secretary, or you're going to work in a dress shop, then you're not burning enough calories to eat a lot of carbs. And you're not going to be building muscle with this, because you'll just be replacing fat, and the muscle won't have enough protein to grow. So I kind of talked about how Emsculpt works, but it's really like lifting weight without lifting. The magnet pulls the muscle up and then lets it relax, pulls the muscle up and then lets it relax. And it is actually equivalent to weeks and weeks and months of weightlifting. You can't, if you just spent your day doing sit-ups, you could probably get enough sit-ups if you did it all day long, which you couldn't, to equal this. The fat, I mean, I think it's miraculous that it gets rid of all the subcutaneous fat and goes into your abdominal cavity if you do it here. Now, if you do it on your arm, it's not going to take away your visceral fat. You have to do it over the visceral fat. So, some people ask me what supplements they should take while they are doing this so that they can have the best outcome. Honestly, everybody should be taking a probiotic. I don't care if they're doing this or not. If you don't have a probiotic, you've got terrible bacteria, bad bacteria in your gut, and you'll have all sorts of problems, both digestive-wise and also neurologic. Our neurotransmitters are made in our gut. We have to have good bacteria in our gut. So I recommend Mega Probiotic, which we sell at our office. It is the best probiotic out there. Creatine's really good for men because men don't swell. Creatine, for those of us who are female and do this, you shouldn't take more than 5 milligrams. That's no matter how tall you are or big you are if you're female, because it'll make you swell if you take too much. So 5 milligrams every other day would be all I would recommend to help you build muscle while you do this treatment. Arginine and ornithine are 2 amino acids that help build muscle. You can do that instead without getting the swelling issue. You should also take methyl B12. Methyl B12 is necessary for muscles and nerves. So B12 is ideal, but a third of the population can't take plain B12, so you need to take methyl B12. I can't test all of you, so I'm just going to recommend methyl B12, which everyone can take. You should also take folate, methylfolate, while you're sculpting your body. Folate is given to pregnant women because the baby's taking all the folate away from the mother when it makes all of its organs. So you need to replace it. But when you're making muscle and you're using your nerves, because nerves are what this magnetism is stimulating, then you need to have healthy nerves to actually get a really good response. I've been asked a couple of questions about this. recently, and one is, when can I start my Emsculpt treatment after joint surgery? So it would be after the PT that your insurance pays for, and after you've been released by your doctor, by your surgeon. Can you lift weights when you're treated? Yes, but just like weightlifting, anybody who does weights knows that you should lift weights either, if you did it every day, it has to be like the top half of you one day, the bottom half of you the next day. Because muscles require a day. You break down muscle when you lift weights. The next day is when you build your muscle. So you can't re-exercise it because you'll break it down again. So you have to actually do it every other day. And that makes total sense. So if you're doing this and you work out, don't do it on the same day. Work out 2 days, pretend it's a workout. Work out that area of your body that you're using the Emsculpt on 2 days before it or 2 days after it, and act like it's one of your workouts, or just put it in place of that. One of my patients asked if she could do more than one area at a time. And the way our machine works, you can't do it at a time, but you can do it in series. So you could do abdomen, and then you could do arms, and then you could do butt or thigh. Those you could do up to 3 areas in one day. If you're doing all that, you probably shouldn't work out any area of your body until 2 days after that, or 2 days before that. You need to be hydrated. We're mostly water. Our cells, inside our cells, outside our cells, everything that makes up a human body is mostly water. Water is necessary for magnetism, necessary for our muscles to work. So you have to have normal hydration, and you have to have normal electrolytes. So if you're somebody who's on a diuretic and you don't have enough sodium and potassium, sodium and chloride, then you may not be able to contract your muscles as well as somebody who's not on the diuretic. If you're on a diuretic, all you have to do is replace with some electrolytes and make sure you drink plenty of water before you come in for your treatment. It's simple. You'll always, no matter where you do this, it is recommended by the company BTL that you have a consult ahead of time to make sure that you know what you can expect from this treatment, and I agree with that. You should also, your interrogator, your nurse or esthetician should be asking all of these questions that I've just lined out about whether you have any implants, if you've had knee or shoulder or back replacements with some kind of metal object, or if you have a pacemaker or a pain stimulator in your back. Because those are the things that kind of will stop you from doing this. You shouldn't do it with that. And we want to be safe. One other group of people that I think this works best for, better than anything else, are people who've had a baby. If you've had a baby, your abdomen has been stretched to the max. Your muscles that used to be this long have been stretched like that long. They're thinned out and they're stretched over the baby while you're pregnant. So to get those muscles to contract fast so that you can get your belly back, and let me just tell you, your belly doesn't go back as fast as you get past 30. So when you're 16 or 18 and you have a baby, it goes right back. I've done, 30 years of OB. It goes right back, but if you get past 30, it just doesn't go right back. So this would be a way, the Emsculpt would be a way for you to get your belly back. Even if you've had a C-section, after the 6 weeks, you could still do this. Whenever they tell you can exercise, you can do this. So it's a real shortcut to getting your body back after childbirth, which I think is a huge thing. I talked about it all the time with my patients when I did OBGYN. They were always very concerned about when they were going to be able to, when their body would look the same. If they did nothing, their body wouldn't look the same again. If they exercise a lot, but sometimes you're too tired or you're working or you have a baby now, so you have to strap the baby to you while you're exercising or put it in the bassinet while you're on the treadmill. I mean, it's a lot harder after you have a baby, so this makes it a whole lot easier. In any case, EM-Sculpt Neo is an amazing machine, and it provides a lot of things that we just can't get in normal life and quickly. So you always will be sold a package of 4. You should do the 4 weeks in a row. And then it takes about 6 weeks to get the full effect. And after that, if you need more, say you had twins, you might need more than 1 package because your muscles are even more stretched. So it always depends on where you started, how if you need a second treatment. Bottom line is, this works, and you have to have some maintenance. Down the line, maybe every 4 months, maybe every 6 months, you need 1 treatment. But that's nothing compared to this. Is going to re-sculpt your body. Hopefully bring it back to where you want it. Thank you for listening. I hope this has you go look at my BioBalance Skin website, or look at the BTL website and look for Neo 40. And this is Neo 40, excuse me, this is EM-Sculpt Neo, sorry. EM-Sculpt Neo. So look for that online, and you'll see all the pictures, the before and afters. They're quite amazing. And the patients I've seen our before and afters are even better. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped you make some decisions about using something for muscle mass, fat, and skin tightening.
Email your questions or comments to podcast@biobalancehealth.com. You can find the BioBalance Healthcast on iTunes and on YouTube. For more information about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy and other reverse aging solutions, visit biobalancehealth.com or call 314-993-0963. You can find Dr. Maupin on Twitter @Dr. Kathy Maupin and on Facebook at facebook.com/biobalancehealth.